Hi everyone, welcome to Rozzy Learning. We're so excited for you all to get started with the STEM, Science and Social Studies programs. Today on this webinar, I'm just going to show you guys how to navigate the portal, and then we'll take a few examples. We'll take a look at a few examples of some of the lessons. So I'm just going to flip this screen for you guys so you can see. Okay, so I am just on the Getting Started tab, and we're going to take a look at the planning guides and lesson descriptions for all three programs. So with the STEM program is meant for an enrichment class, such as in your library or maker spaces, or it could be used as an after-school program as well. So with all of the lessons within the STEM program, they are all career incorporated. So that being said, for example, some of the lessons are urban planner, marine biologist, zoologist, environmentalist, and more like that. And you can teach the lessons 1 to 2 times per week, but feel free to use it more or less than often, whatever works best with your schedule. The lessons are 30 to 45 minutes. However, they're super adaptable. And we'll take a look at an example of one so you can kind of see how they are. So since all of the lessons are career incorporated, they're all independent of each other. So that being said, you can teach them in any order that you would like. With that being said, we did create themes for you. So for example, we have careers about food, tinker and create, thinking outside the box, cutting edge inventions and ideas, solving global problems, exploring the outdoors and environment, our bodies and minds, never stop building, crazy for technology, investigating space, creativity and action, and more like that. So with all of the themes, we did create a theme-based planning guide, and this is just an example for preschool, but we do have this for the older grades as well. So with the themes, you have each theme, and then you have all of the lessons that go into those themes. And then to break it down for you even further, we have our lesson descriptions. So you have the theme at the top, and then you have the lesson name, and then a little description of that lesson. And then I did want to point out something too. If you ever need to print something off, whether it be the lesson guides or a lesson plan or a handout or a magazine, you can just click this button at the top and you'll be able to download any PDF that you're looking for. So that is with our STEM program. The science program, however, the main difference between the science and STEM, so with all of the science lessons, they're all related to an NGSS standard. So that being said, we do cover Earth, life, and physical science. And this is just another lesson guide that you guys are welcome to use to help you organize and see what you want to get started with for the school year. So you see we have the standards, and then we have the career, and then we have the title, and then which theme those lessons go in as well. So if you scroll through, we have it for kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and all the way up to 8th grade. And then for social studies, all of the lessons within this program are related to the C3 framework. So you are getting lessons that are based off economics, geography, civics, and history as well. So this is the K through 2 grade civics and in government with all the lesson names and the description of those lessons. And then if you continue to scroll through, you'll see that we have history, skills, and culture. And then we move on to 3rd through 5th grade with history. And then civics, government, economics, and geography. And then we go into middle school for 6th to 8th grade for U.S. history. So again, this is just another tool that you guys are more than welcome to use to figure out which lessons you want to use throughout the school year and whatnot. So when it comes to supplies, all of the lessons just require simple common art and building materials or recycled goods. If you have involved parents or even other teachers, they're more than welcome to bring in supplies as well. I will say that the only lessons that have the very specific materials are going to be those experiments. So that would be like the baking soda, the vinegar, the sugar, the food coloring, and more like that. But you can just get those materials at a grocery store as well. And then there's that button at the top if you wanted to print this off too. Okay, so we're going to take a look at some examples of lessons now. So I'm just going to hover over the Programs tab, and you will see that we have our writing program, reading, math, social studies, science, and STEM. Maths, reading, and writing will be available in 2020. So, however, today we're just going to look at social studies, science, and STEM. So with the STEM program, we're going to take a look at this one first, but there's different ways that you can search for which lesson that you're looking for. I always find it easiest if I just hover over this lessons tab. I can search by theme or career or by grade level. So for example, I'm just going to search by 3rd through 5th. And then if you look on the far left as well, you can search for something very specific, or you can filter by theme, or you can filter by career as well. And then I do want to point out, if you see a heart next to a lesson plan, if you click that heart, the lesson itself will go into your Saved Lessons tab. So that could be for lessons that you've done in the past, or lessons you're going to be doing in the future, or just your favorite lessons. It's just another organizational tool that you all are welcome to use as well. So we're going to look at the dermatologist lesson, learning about skin. So with each lesson, you're always going to get like a little mini description of what the lesson will be about. So in this adventure, you will think like a dermatologist and create a model of the skin with a new cool Band-Aid. So with each lesson, you're going to get the lesson plan, discovery pictures, handouts, discovery videos, writing extensions, vocab cards, and certificates as well. So with the lesson plan, each lesson is either going to be a design, build, or an experiment. And then we always start off with a lesson about learning about the background of the career. So in this case, it'd be dermatology. And then if you guys have access to a projector or a smartboard, every time you see something that's bolded throughout the lesson plan, so for example, discovery picture, skin up close, that's prompting you to project that instructional material up on the smartboard so your students can see it throughout the lesson. There's different ways that you can also use those. If you have one-to-one technology, you could upload the pictures and handouts to your students' devices on Google Classroom. But I would say the majority of teachers would just put it up on their smartboard, but either way is up to you. And then you'll see that throughout the lesson plan, we do break it up for you step by step. So for example, step 2, creating a model to learn about skin would approximately take 20 minutes. I know I mentioned earlier that the lessons are very adaptable, so you can tweak it however you would like. You can take things out, you can add things in. We know that teachers have a certain amount of time with their students, and it's just important to make sure that their students understand the main concept of the lesson. So that being said, we do tell you if it's small group, we tell you if it's whole group, we give you the prompting questions for your students. And then when it comes to materials, the materials list is always going to be the last section of that lesson. So what we do provide for you are those discovery pictures, those handouts, those videos. But again, what's not provided are those common art and building materials. However, we do give you suggestions. So maybe with a layer of the skin, we maybe suggest a sponge or something like that. But you guys are more than welcome to reach out if you have any questions regarding materials. So we'll be happy to help you. And then when it comes to the discovery pictures, this is what was bolded throughout the lesson plan. So this is a visual of what skin looks like up close. And then we also always show the career in action. So that would be like who they work with, what types of tools they use, where they might work, and it just provides that baseline of information that your students are needing throughout the lesson. And then we also give you a different model of the skin, and this one actually breaks down the layers of the skin. And then the handouts will actually go more in depth of those layers. So like the epidermis and the dermis and everything like that as well. And then we also provide you with the requirements for what your students are creating. So in this case, it'd be that Band-Aid. And then with the videos, the first video is an interview with a dermatologist. So students are actually getting to learn more information from the point of view of a dermatologist. And then the second video, this is more like a kid-friendly video, but this is just another tool that you're more than welcome to use. It just goes into depth about skin and dermatologists and everything like that. So. The writing extensions, vocab cards, and certificates, these are all optional, so you are more than welcome to use them if you would like. The writing extensions are just creative writing prompts that tie back to the career. So they vary from creating a YouTube channel to making advertisement or a news article. They typically take 15 to 20 minutes to complete. However, it just depends on the topic. But there's different ways that you can use these. So you can use them after a lesson if you have time, or the students can take them home and work on them with their families, or they could work on them in the morning before classes start. It's whatever you choose to do with them. So either way works. And then we also created vocab cards. So these are meant for like a word wall or an inspiration wall. You'll see that you have the term at the top, and then you have a picture, and then you have the description of that term. So for example, we have dermatologist, model, and medical technology. And then we also have certificates. So with the certificates, we really wanted to promote that growth mindset thinking. So there's 3 certificates per lesson. So you can give every student one, or you can give 3 students one. It really just depends on how you want to use them. But I know that some teachers who also use portfolios would use these, or the students can just take them home to show their parents. But for example, we have Enthusiasm Award, Innovation Award, and Creativity. And then I did want to point out, so below every lesson is a related lesson suggestion area. So you're more than welcome to take a look through those lessons, see if there's anything that your students would be interested in, or if there's a career that you would like to go over with them. And then if you scroll back up, there is a comment section. So one thing about Rozzy is we really do value hearing your feedback. So you are more than welcome to comment how the lessons went, how you adapted the lesson, maybe what materials you might have used, or if there's something that you would change within the lesson plan. You'll see that there actually are a few examples of what teachers have posted. So for example, the students were able to get a hands-on experience while exploring the dermatologist's career. They had a better understanding of the layers of the skin since they were able to make their own model by using materials that were similar to actual layers. And she just continues to go through about how her students were engaged and what they learned throughout the lesson and everything like that. So that's the STEM program. We're going to go ahead and move on to the science program. So I'm just going to hover over programs, and I'm going to go all the way over to science. So with the science program, you'll see that it's the exact same format as the STEM program. You have all of your lessons, and then there's that search bar on the far left. And then you can also filter by grade level and filter by topic as well. So as I mentioned before, all the lessons are related to those NGSS standards. So we do cover earth science, life science, and physical science. And then we have all of our themes, and then you can actually search by grade level, and you'll notice that K through 5 are actually separate, they're independent, and then 6 to 8 are banded again. But we're just going to go ahead and take a look at a first grade lesson. So I'm going to click on the sound engineer. And again, there's that heart if you would like to favorite the lessons as well. So you'll notice that it's the same exact setup. You're always going to get a little description. So for example, in this adventure, you will think like a sound engineer and explore how vibrations create sound. And then you're always going to get which standard it aligns with as well. So with this lesson, for example, you're going to get your lesson plan, your video, your handout, your magazine, and your vocab cards. So we're going to click on the lesson plan. Okay, so you'll see it's the exact same format compared to STEM as well. We always start off with the background about learning about the topic or the career. So you're always going to show a video. The videos are typically 2 to 3 minutes long. They're just meant to provide that background knowledge for your students before they actually dive into the activity, just so they can understand what they're learning about. And then you'll see we do break it up for you step by step again. So for example, step 2, helping the band and testing materials. And then they will actually get to create an instrument. And then materials for this, oops. And then the materials, again, are going to be on the last section of that lesson plan. So again, what is provided are those videos, those handouts. But again, what's not provided are those like common art and building materials. When there is something specific that you will need, we do tell you like each pair of students will need, and we'll say like the feather, the piece of string, the metal spoon, the tissue box, the rubber bands, and everything like that. And then the video, as I mentioned before, this is just a 2 to 3 minute video to provide your students with that background knowledge on the topic. And then the handouts, these were highlighted in purple throughout the lesson plan, but this is just meant to provide your students with guidance throughout the activity. And this is like a parent letter, for example, that you can send out to the parents to let them know what supplies they're needing. But here again is like to show your students about testing materials. So like a feather, did it make a strong vibration or a loud sound? Same thing with a piece of string. And then same thing with the can and the metal spoon. And then we also have the magazines for the science program. So for example, this is Charlie the Sound Engineer, Understanding Sound. So basically throughout the magazines, it just takes you through the career. So in this case, hi everyone, my name is Charlie, I'm a sound engineer. And then it just talks about what he does on a day-to-day basis and why he became a sound engineer and who he works with and what types of tools he may work with. And it goes into understanding the vibrations and then understanding sound as well. But there's different ways that you guys can use these too. So if you guys have time after a lesson plan, you can pull one of these out, or the students can take these home too. But it's really however you guys choose. And then you'll see that the last page talks about apps on music. Okay, and then we also have vocab cards. So with the vocab cards, again, these are meant to be used as like a word wall or inspiration wall. So we have sound engineer, vibration, and sound waves. And then you'll notice again below every lesson is that related lesson area. And then we have that comment feature as well. So that's the science program. So now we're going to move on to the social studies program. Okay, so like I said earlier, with the social studies program, all of the lessons are related to the C3 framework. So you are getting lessons on history, economics, geography, and civics as well. And you'll see that it's the same format as science and STEM. But if you hover over the lessons tab, you'll see that you can search by all the topics, or you can search by the grade levels. And these ones are banded together just like STEM was. But we're going to take a look at a 3 through 5. Okay, so we're going to look at the juror lesson, the importance of juries. Okay, so as you see, it's the same format as STEM and science. So in this adventure, you'll think like a juror and learn about how juries make decisions about who committed a crime. And then we also tell you which standard is aligned to as well. So with the social studies program, all of the lessons are very hands-on, very fun, very engaging for the students. We wanted to make sure that the lessons were more like activities and games and whatnot. So you'll see that, again, you have that background information on juries. So you'll show the students the video, and then your students will actually be able to be on a jury. They'll actually take a look at a crime, and then we'll be split up into 5 groups. And then throughout those groups, they'll be looking at the fingerprint evidence, they'll look at the computer evidence, they'll look at a witness story, and then they'll actually get to learn or look at a jury decision form. So this covers the topics of like civic responsibility, and students get to learn what it means to be biased or unbiased. So you'll see that you have like a group deliberation, and then you have a wrap up after they have decided if they're guilty or not. So this lesson, for example, what is provided are those videos in those handouts, but you actually don't need any other supplies. This one, everything is provided for you, so there's nothing extra that you guys will need to have. And then the handouts, this is what would be used to guide your students and provide everything that they're needing throughout the activities. So you have the information on the crime, and then each group will get their juror card. So you have group 2, group 3, group 4, and then group 5. And then after looking at all the evidence, they will have that jury decision form. So there's the fingerprint evidence, there's the computer evidence, and then there's the witness story. And then again, there's that video. Like I said, 2 to 3 minutes long. It's just meant to provide that background knowledge for your students. And you would show that at the beginning of the lesson. And then we also have the magazines for social studies as well. So same format as science, so Max the Juror, the importance of juries. So it just takes you through, hi, my name is Max, I'm a 5th grade teacher. However, I also have another job this week. I will be serving on a jury. So your students will actually get to see what it looks like to be summoned. And then they will understand how the jury selection works, and then they'll actually have to give their opinion at the end of the magazine as well. And then we also have content checks. So with the content checks, a lot of teachers ask me if it is okay to use these to fully collect their data on their students. Since this is a supplementary program, I highly suggest not to use this to collect all of your data. This is more of just like a check, did your students understand the main point of the lesson plan? I know that some teachers would use these as like an exit slip at the end of a lesson, but you can also have the students take them home and bring them back the next day, but however you want to use them is totally fine as well. So then we also have the writing extensions, again, for social studies. So these are the creative writing prompts that tie back to the career and topic. So this one is actually making a public service announcement. So they get to create a sketch of what their public service announcement would look like. And then we also provide you with a teacher key that goes over the importance of juries and everything like that as well. And then we also tell your students how to write the public service announcement. Okay, and then we also have the vocab cards again. So like I said, word wall, inspiration wall. So you have juror, jury, democracy, civic responsibility, unbiased, and biased. And then you'll see below that we also have the related lesson suggestions. And then we also have that comment feature. So you guys are more than welcome to comment as much as you would like. And that's basically all I have for you guys. And then we also have a very fun ambassador program that you guys are more than welcome to join as well. If you guys just do 2 lessons a month and post 2 comments on the portal, you'll be able to receive a bunch of freebies and everything like that. But like I said, we're very excited for you all to start using the program. And if you ever have any questions, just feel free to reach out and we're here to help you. All right, bye guys.